Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we are looking at a Wednesday night slate of player props. Nate, our very favorite video each and every weekday that we're bringing you guys this regular season. Do want to make sure you're liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us. As I said, we'll continue to be with you guys all regular season long. Have game videos up, 2 of those games on tonight's Wednesday slate. So make sure you check out those videos as well as these player props. Also want you to head to thelines.com. That's where we have all of our great written content and our wonderful odds finder tool. So you can go ahead and make sure you are shopping all of these NBA player props to the best of your ability all NBA season long. Nate, let's kick off our player props video with, I believe we got Kyrie Irving kicking things off. Talk to me about Kyrie.
Nothing better than taking a point guard after a long layoff, a guy with bounce who's going to have fresh legs, especially if you haven't played that much basketball over the last 2 years like Kyrie. So 24.5 is the points total and 3.5 3-pointers with plus odds on the over. And we were just hammering his props like we talked about with him coming in with fresh legs at the end of last season. And he was consistently going over when we were saying 27.5, this is too low. Now the Nets are going to be depending on him, just as much with Ben Simmons in the lineup or Nick Claxton or both at times. Joe Harris not going to be ready for the opener here. Seth Curry, I don't think is going to play either. It's just going to be a lot of Kyrie and KD. And KD probably draws Herb Jones here for most of the game in a much tougher individual matchup. If Kyrie starts on CJ, that's barbecue chicken. Brandon Ingram's too big. Alvarado's going to come off the bench and try to do his thing. But, somebody who reaches a lot going against the best ball handler in the league, probably not going to pan out well. I haven't seen anybody able to stop Kyrie in that mode. And, it's 7 straight against Noah now. He's had at least 24 points and averaging 32.3 on 50, 47, 96 splits. The total's 230 here. The Pels have Zion, so they've been incredibly high scoring when they have Zion, 116.4 points per game with a bad defensive rating. I think there's a lot of props you could like here, but I'm just going to go with the safe bet in Uncle Drew.
Oh, Uncle Drew, yeah. He's always fun to bet on, for sure. Especially just when he gets cooking, you're like, oh, we got this. I like all of that. I like points. It's 230.5 is the total, as you said. So there's going to be people putting up buckets. And we know that for the Nets, it's really going to be mostly KD and Kyrie, especially when 2 of their best shooters are still, all over the injury list, and Seth Curry and Joe Harris there. So I'm going with a guy that we said, it's fucking Dame Lillard, like 23.5 points. My man's back. Even money on DK and FanDuel, I believe, for taking 23.5 points right now for Dame against the Kings. This would be at like 29.5, maybe 30.5 would be this points prop for Dame if this was maybe, last season at the beginning before he got hurt or, the season before. It was definitely 30.5 the season before. So, with that 114 defensive rating last year, good for 4th worst for those Kangs. I guess they're only the Kangs when they're winning, but for the Kings, if you will, allowing 13 threes a game, also good for about 7th worst in the league. 3rd highest opponent field goal percentage that they gave up. So, I like this Portland team. I drafted the crap out of them in my fantasy team. I also don't hate plus 8,000 on DraftKings right now for them to be the highest scoring team in the league this season. But I do think this is just another opportunity where, look, the people talk about the Kings being better on defense. I don't know why. I don't know what they really did that would make you feel that much better at this point. I think you're going to see some really good offense from them that is going to look nicer than it's looked in Sacramento for a while. But that's just going to lead to more points being scored on the other side as well. So it's going to be a high scoring affair in this one.
Yeah, like you said, it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer. Is Dame in California against the Kings with a total of 232? He's going to get his buckets. People are calling the Dame just terrorizing people this year after basically sitting out for rest, getting his abdomen completely right. He should be able to do whatever he wants on the court. Hasn't had that much trouble with De'Aaron Fox in his career. It's a pretty simple one here. There's going to be a lot of points in this game. Moving on to a rookie, though. I'm interested in both Paolo and Jaden Ivey on the other side in that Magic Pistons game, because with a rook, you can get a little value in their first game for sure, and the totals are pretty low. Ivey at 11.5 points plus money or even. And then Paolo is at 13.5, but I think you can go one more point up to get plus 106 at FanDuel here.
Okay.
Detroit allowing the 5th most points per game to power forwards in their last 15. In their last 15, they went up to a much higher pace, 99, went over 9 of those games. I mean, what changed during that? I mean, it's just playing a more freewheeling style. It's more of what Cade was doing with the offense, more of playing Marvin Bagley, who's going to be out for this game, which is actually a little sad for Paolo. You won't get to play against him, but I mean, these guys they're throwing out a power forward. It could be another rookie in Jalen Duren. It could be Kevin Knox, our boy Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, who's more of a 5, and the Magic is throwing plenty of beef out there as well. With Wendell Carter and Franz Wagner expected to play a lot, so I guess the total's low because you think a rookie might not get a ton of usage here in his first game, but he's projected for 30 minutes. I mean, they're going to give the number 1 pick his time and his share of the ball, and he's very skilled. So you can walk into 15 points pretty easily in a free-flowing NBA game like this one.
Yeah, for plus money, absolutely. I think he's going to be a bit of a focal point in the offense, right? So 15 points, I think that's going to be we'll see. Obviously, I think he's going to be expected to do a few things as well, outside of just scoring. Really not too worried about the 15 points though with the plus money there in game 1 for the Rook. So let's get it, Paolo, because he is also on my fantasy squad. Finishing things off with a guy who was picked right before my pick, and so I couldn't get him. Everybody cares about everybody else's fantasy teams, I know. Josh Giddey, 29.5. We're always talking points, rebounds, and assists with our guy, right? Minus 106 on FanDuel. I'm going over for the guy. This is your joke, but I'm taking it. I'm going over for the guy from Down Under. His last 12 to end the season, 16 points a game, 9 boards, 7 assists. We're talking about a 25% usage rate on a team that has Shai Gilgeous on it, and Lou Dort, who gets a lot of run and sees the ball a lot. 34 minutes a game, and that's what we're looking for. Is like I think we started to be able to rely on Josh Giddey being the Thunder player that would play a lot. I think if Chet Holmgren was playing, we'd be a lot more ensured that they're just going to play normal lineups and try and play their best players and just start winning now and not really suck for Victor Wembanyama. Almost got it. I'll be there in a few games. I'll have that down. But my main point is like I'm still a little bit nervous that they're not committed to winning with Chet going down once again. We'll see. I'm hoping that's not the case. In which case, I do think no matter what, you can rely on Mr. Giddey to be getting in there with if he's on the floor and he's getting his run at those 34 minutes a game. 30 points, rebounds, and assists is going to feel like a steal in a few months' time for him. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us. Follow along with all these player props as we are going to be bringing them to you each and every weekday of this regular season. Keeping that record, trying to stay strong with you guys as we were last year. So until we see you next, happy betting.